This time on Movie Show Plus, Greg Russell interviews John David Washington, the star of Spike Lee's latest joint.
Yeah, this subject matter is very familiar, you know, and hate is generational.
The dog days of summer are officially here, and Tom Santilli will have the full review.
Wow, by the looks of this little lady, she's been on the street a long time.
Well, don't I relate?
To being on the street.
It was a joke.
And we'll take a look at Robert Redford's latest and possibly last film role. All of that, plus a whole lot more, coming up on Movie Show Plus.
America first.
America first. America first.
If I would have known this was a Klan meeting, I wouldn't have taken this mother.
Do you think that because I'm a woman, I'm less capable of extreme violence? Because I'm very happy to disabuse you of the misconception.
Lauren kind of had the right balance of intelligence and believable physicality and intensity.
Women are being incorporated into special operations. Really wanted to look at the idea of women doing that kind of work.
Alice is pretty badass. She's got a lot of fire, and the big appeal was the intellectual smarts and tenacity, as well as what we've come to see as insane physical ability.
Whoa, that's good.
Alice definitely has this whole skill set that was a real pleasure to learn. Rhonda and I had the best time doing this movie.
My role was not so dependent on being physical and fighting. It was like completely the opposite. Pete really wanted to kind of give me an opportunity to actually, act and not just lean on the physicality part. In the Russian safe house, I had so much fun because I actually got to implement like all the tactical gun training. On your knees. And the fire was really cool. It's not like acting. You don't have to act like there's fire because there's fire.
In Mile 22, we're literally on an intense ride from start to finish. It just doesn't ever let up.
And that's what's hot in Hollywood.
There's never been a black cop in this city. We think you might be the man to open things up around here.
Hello, this is Ron Stallworth calling. Well, who am I speaking with?
This is David Duke.
Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. That David Duke?
God, last time I checked. What can I do you for?
Well, since you asked, I hate blacks. I hate Jews, Mexicans and Irish, Italians and Chinese. But my mouth to God's ears, I really hate those black rats. And anyone else, really, that doesn't have pure white Aryan blood running through their veins.
I'm happy to be talking to a true white American.
God bless white America.
John David, how are you, man?
I'm good, man.
Great.
I'm good. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And I saw your movie and enjoyed it, and I think one of the main things that really stuck out, I mean, it took place, in the late 60s, early 70s,
70s,
like that.
Yeah.
But this story is still so prevalent today.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's in how Spike crafted the film. He showed it even more so with what happens at the end and what, piecing it all together. But this subject matter is very familiar, and hate is generational. The hate language. I mean, there's a whole lexicon to it. And this film really showcases that in a major way.
And how? And also, I was going to say, like I said, you're back in the 70s, and you kind of like, when I say hoodwinked them, by just talking to him on the phone.
Right. Yeah. No, he made fools of them, really.
Yeah.
And Ron, the real Ron, will tell you that he takes a lot of pride in that. He really enjoyed that part of it. But it was a very dangerous mission. I mean, I remember the banquet scene. That was the most authentic like feeling on set of all the movie I had. And I called him that night, Ron, and thanked him just for doing that, for putting his life on the line, a true American hero.
The KKK is planning an attack.
How do you propose to make this investigation?
We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face.
You for the white race, Ron?
Oh, hell yeah.
So there becomes a combined
Ron Stallworth. Can you do that?
with the right white man. We can do anything.
When's the last time they let a rookie lead an investigation? Oh, that's right. Never.
Okay, become his friend. Let's get invited back.
So what kind of stuff you guys do?
Cross burnings, marches. This is fixing to be a big year for us.
You ask too many questions. You undercover or something?
Right, because, you know, like I said, particular scene, they've got this big Klan rally. They've got the black officer there as his protection for David Duke.
It was just David Duke's detail.
Right.
Like, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, not only is he the only black officer in Colorado Springs, he was the first. So, I mean, there's so, you can make a movie on that alone, just him being the first. You know?
Right.
So it's just, well, that scenario is just, and it happened. This really happened. Like, it was funny. Like, so I got to meet Ron, and I talked to him every week, and you know, I knew his story. I did my homework, but it was something about when he passed around that membership card, the Ku Klux Klan card, like, and it had David Duke's signature on the back. It was like, I can't believe this guy, man. This happened in our own backyard. It's crazy.
I know, when I saw it, I kept thinking the same thing. Ever looking at my name, Greg Russell, member of
the like, right, yeah, and on the back too it has these like rules. It's like the first rule of Flight Club: don't talk about Flight Club. It was like, it was crazy. Like they're very serious. You know what it is? Hate is very organized, and I think that's why it stood the test of time. I mean, and in this film, it kind of explores the resurgence of this group through Birth of a Nation. David Duke, you know, this neighborly, nice white guy that just hates black people, anybody that ain't pure white, right. You know, and then, you know, and tying it in, you know, what's happening in contemporary time. So yes, it's a period piece, but has this contemporary feel. Now, you know, Spike can, you know, just shove or like just make sure you get these lessons and get these, like, get the message of the film. But in this case, it really, it just speaks for itself, you know, and the story does. And I feel like people will see that that this tradition of hate is just, we got a lot of work to do, a long way to go.
We must unite and organize to fight racism.
Are you down for the liberation of black people?
Power to the people.
All power to all the people.
All power to all the people.
That's right, sister.
For you, it's a crusade. For me, it's a job.
You're Jewish. That hatred, doesn't that piss you off?
You're taking this Jew lie detector test.
Why are you acting like you ain't got skin in the game?
I'm telling you, the wars are coming.
White power! Black power!
Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
That's us, Stallworth brothers.
And just want to, you know, bring it back, like you said, Spike Lee. You've known Spike your whole life. What was it like to be working with him?
It was an honor. It was a master class. I'm indebted to him for life. He gave me so much encouragement. He believed in me. He believed in my ability to tell this story through his eyes. And it was the ultimate collaborative experience. The environment on set was such of it was a peaceful. Well, I say not peaceful because he can be very intense, but I felt like so comfortable to just try and fail with my acting partners. I never had that before. That kind of responsibility and that kind of trust with that responsibility was incredible.
We're on a roll, baby. America first.
America first! America first!
If I would have known this was a Klan meeting, I wouldn't have taken this mother.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online, and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.
Being empowered starts with getting informed, looking closer. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime, but many of us don't know there are different types of breast cancer with different characteristics. That was me. Learning about the specifics of my diagnosis gave me the confidence to make informed treatment decisions with my doctor. This meant everything to me and my family. So take another look. Ask another question. Learn more at notonetype.org.
you forget more what you're doing, you know, and try not to be so self-conscious about things that are so normal. People don't notice you as much as if you're, you know, trying to be so shy about everything.
Well, I guarantee you, you will be noticed by this scene as well as others.
What's your name, kid? Mine's Copper. I'm a hound dog. Gee, I bet you'd be good playing hide and seek. You want to try, Copper?
Well, the dog days of summer are definitely here. It is August, and this is typically the normal dumping ground time for Hollywood. This is when, you know, the whole summer blockbuster season's over, and it hasn't quite gotten into the fall award season, so they kind of just throw out some stuff. But yes, dog days indeed.
Folks, we are certainly in the dog days of summer. It is going to be a hot, hot hottie.
That will be $3.75.
Keep the change.
This is $1.
Here, you look beautiful.
Large pepperoni? No offense, but is your dog pregnant or just super fat?
If you're anything like me, you might have been excited by the fact that Ken Marino is the director of Dog Days. Ken Marino, of course, a comedian. He's kind of part of the whole David Wayne troupe, you know, Children's Hospital and the Wet Hot series. He also directed How to Be a Latin Lover last year. But this film is just devoid of anything remotely good to say about it. It's an ensemble comedy. It stars Nina Dobrev, Tone Bell, Vanessa Hudgens, Finn Wolfhard, who's one of the kids from Stranger Things, Thomas Lennon, Ron Cephas Jones, John Bass, Adam Pawley, Eva Longoria, Rod Corddry. None of them are able to bring anything to this really paint-by-numbers story. It's just not very funny. Everything is kind of telegraphed. Everything is cliched, and it just doesn't really work. I have never been a fan of like Gary Marshall kind of movies, but I think even he would have passed on Dog Days. Rest in peace, Gary Marshall. But this is just not a good movie, and definitely lets us know what time of the year it is. We are in the dog days of summer. Dog Days gets a D. Perhaps the only good news this week and this month so far is that BlacKkKlansman, Spike Lee's latest joint, is actually a pretty good movie.
The KKK is planning an attack.
How do you propose to make this investigation?
We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face.
You for the white race, Ron?
Oh, hell yeah.
So there becomes a combined
Ron Stallworth. Can you do that?
With the right white man, we can do anything.
John David Washington, who is the son of Denzel Washington, stars as Ron Stallworth. This is a story that is based on a true story. It's so unbelievable that it has to be true. This guy, Ron Stallworth, was a black police officer in Colorado who infiltrated the KKK in an undercover sting. He actually was able to get close to David Duke. If you're wondering how this would happen, he calls him on the phone. Whenever they had to do in-person meetings, they used a white officer. In this film, is played by Adam Driver. But this is just right in Spike Lee's wheelhouse. The reason being is, you know, Spike always has something to say. There's always a message in a Spike Lee film, and here he is really pounding us on the head, letting us know that these kind of issues of racism, the resurgence of events like things like Charlottesville in modern society, these things have always been there, and they're still prevalent in today's world. Spike Lee, of course, is rallying against this, wants everybody to kind of know how ludicrous some of these groups are, and just overall has a lot to say. This movie's well acted. It's perfect for Spike Lee, again, in that it's kind of a mix of, you know, it's dramatic, but it's also is funny and kind of silly, and it even goes into some like absurd areas, which is, of course, normal for him as well. BlacKkKlansman isn't one of Spike Lee's best movies of all time, but it's definitely a step way above his last effort, Chirac, which I did not like at all. I give BlacKkKlansman a solid B.
He looks heroic, but he's kind of got a negative attitude.
Dog Days and BlacKkKlansman are not the only two new movies opening this weekend. There's also The Meg, which is a monster movie, and you can check out my review of that online at access.com. Also, check out movieshowplus.com. Follow me on Twitter at Tom Santilli for all the latest. Let's have a discussion about film. I want to know what you guys think of these movies. That's all I got for this week. We'll see you next time.
Hey, excuse me. Need some help?
No, I'm good.
Let me take a look.
You know anything about cars?
No, not really.
So, what did you say you do?
Well, that's a secret.
And why is that?
Well, because if I told you, you probably wouldn't want to see me again.
Who said I was going to see you again?
Would you? Well, let's take this place. Say it was a bank, and instead of that counter up there, that was really a teller's window, and you just walk in, real calm. So you walk right up, look her in the eye, and you say, "Ma'am, this is a robbery." And you show her the gun, like this. And you say, "I wouldn't want you to get hurt, because I like you. I like you a lot. So don't go breaking my heart now, okay?"
You're not serious.
Excuse me, I'd like to open up an account.
Well, great. What type of account do you have in mind?
This kind. This kind.
You said he was armed.
He had a gun.
You saw it.
Well, he was also sort of a gentleman.
He was very polite.
He seemed like a nice enough fella.
Look at that. Is he smiling?
5 states. 93 robberies. In 2 years.
You think you can catch him?
Yeah, I won't lie. I'd love to slap the cuffs on him myself. So I hope I get the chance.
Try another city, baby, another town.
He spent his whole life locked up, except for the times that he broke out.
Somebody should have told him to quit while he was ahead.
Well, you find something you love.
Come follow and
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
You're never exactly where you're supposed to be, are you? Now, whenever I close the door, I think, is this the last time I'll ever have a chance to do whatever that thing was?
You know what I do when the door closes? I jump out the window.
living is a gamble, baby. Loving's much the same. Wherever.
I sat down with him once and I said, "Surely there's an easier way to make a living." And he looked at me and he said, "I'm not talking about making a living. I'm just talking about living."
To your knowledge, did your father have any enemies? Shall I repeat the question?
No, I heard you.
Then please answer.
The new housemaid, Mom. It's Bridget.
My name's Lizzie.
Do you find your room comfortable? It can get quite hot up there. Sometimes it's best to leave the door open.
It's all right, sweet girl.
Father, have you done something?
Have I done something?
Eat, Lizzie. I said you will eat. You would apologize to your mother.
Don't you dare call her my mother. You need me help. You have it. Let's be certain if you say that. I am.
Lizzie Andrew Borden, please place your right hand on the Bible before you. Do you swear before Almighty God to tell the truth in all matters pertaining to the murder of Andrew and Abby Borden?
Are you afraid?
What?
your knowledge, did your father have any enemies?
This is America, Sarah. Every man with a pulse has enemies.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
A Dream Limousine continues to be Metro Detroit's finest luxury transportation service. 734-542-6800. Offering late model luxury SUVs to brand new party buses that seat up to 34 passengers. 734-542-6800. Including the one-of-a-kind Escalade Stretch with the exciting jet door. Call 734-542-6800. That's 734-542-6800. A Dream Limousine.
Do you know where you are right now?
I'm in a drug trial.
What do you think is wrong with you?
I'm sick. I don't matter.
What would you say this trial is showing you about yourself?
Is this therapy now?
It's not therapy. It's science. Once you begin to appreciate the structure of the mind, there's no reason to believe that anything about us can't be changed. Pain can be destroyed. The mind can be solved.
How many of your subjects have ended up catatonic?
0, roughly.
My head doesn't work right. I thought maybe these people could fix me. Sounds stupid.
That doesn't sound stupid to me.
Okay, people, let's begin.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My mind is playing tricks.
This is some multi-reality brain magic shit.
I don't know what's real and what's not.
Something's wrong. What did you do?
Come on, wake up! Every time I separate them, they just find their way back together.
You're not protecting those people in there.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel. Next time on Movie Show Plus. Greg chats with Mark Wahlberg and Tom reviews his newest film, Mile 22.
Let's take a drive.
Are you ready?
Look out bikes, Dougie. Feeling calm, Alice?
Not even a little. Are you?
I'm totally calm.
That's because you're mentally unstable.
Thank you.
Plus, a best-selling book gets a crazy big screen adaptation.
These people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Now, you really should have told me that you're like the Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry. Mom, this is Rachel Chu.
She just thinks you're some, like, unrefined banana.
No. Those are a few fingers.
Yellow on the outside, or white on the inside.
Any and all views and or opinions expressed by me, Tom Santilli, are fully my own and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of Movie Show Plus, any other critic on the show, or anybody else associated with this program. Further, regardless of the letter grade a movie gets, I strongly encourage all viewers and followers to go see each and every movie that I review, in theaters and on streaming when appropriate, and support your local movie-going establishments.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.